Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
You said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence on this 13 October. In the year of the troops getting paid drumster fire. It's Monday edition. Myself, Ice, Ken, Dickhead, whatever you want to call me, and of course in the gunner seat, I got my man here, Massey. Wait, I'm pointing the other way. There we go.
Yeah,
Massey, there you go. Always the ghost. You're always pointing to the knife hand that shit. Oh man, thank you guys for hanging out. Today is, and I'm already gonna piss people off by saying this, today's Columbus Day. Happy Columbus Day.
Happy Smallpox Day, bitches.
Oh man, happy welcome Wedos to the Okay. Now I was had some going back and forths with some family members and friends asking me, Ken, you're of that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it should be Indigenous Day? And I'll be honest with you. I mean, growing up since I was a kid, it's always been Columbus Day, and it's always been Columbus Day. It's always been Columbus Day. I don't think there's ever a need to change anything's holiday just because an outside group says that it should be changed to whatever day. And so, and of course, I don't see it. I don't see it healthy to change the norm up because of a small, I'm going to sound like someone who said that we were a loud minority to say, that then, man, whatever. Some individuals are saying they're having issues on streaming on X. If you look at your browser, refresh, or change up your browser, because I know some of the browsers are okay and some of the browsers are not. So, might want to refresh your browser. I know I'm looking at it right now on whatever the fucking Windows version is. I guess they call it whatever. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Edge. And then
Jesus.
Yeah, Edge, Safari, Firefox. I'm seeing 5x5, so it could be a local issue with you.
Yep. If you're running Pornhub on a separate tab, I recommend closing it. It takes a lot of bandwidth.
It does exactly that. It does, and also those freaking those little cookies in there also just all okay. And yeah, see, so everyone, so I think it's a local issue with whoever is having the issues with the Edge. So to go back, I was saying in the family chats, family was breaking balls talking about the Indigenous Day, and it's funny because I was a guest on the Trunk Tales podcast, and Grimsey, one of the hosts on there, he's a Latino. And so he said, I was, he's like, I am the Latino because of my indigenous background from Mexico, if you know, and he knows as well. So my family, we're breaking balls in, family chats. We like to do that. And someone says, Ken, you can't say that. You can't wear that. That's offensive. And then, in the family chats, we got this going, of a white looking bleached out indige, as we like to say.
Very Aztec, yeah?
Yeah, well, Aztec and Otomi tribe. And there's a story behind that, too. There's internal, a lot of people don't realize that, the Aztecs showing up. The Aztecs were dicks. They weren't like this. They weren't like this big honorable fucking, they weren't like, they didn't have any fucking honor. There's other tribes that were involved in the conquering of Latin America, Mesoamerica, I guess you'd say. And there's a lot of people that got pissed off because, you know, oh, well, you know, the Spaniards are coming and blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you guys, in the family lore, if you go into someone's background in you know, lore of someone's tribal backgrounds, you fucking will realize that there was so much infighting within the tribes to cause them to be conquered and a lot of it too, like I said, everyone's making it sound like the Aztecs were this honorable, oh yes, oh they had honor and they worshiped this man. You know, look, the lore has already been told as what? They cut the fuck out of people. They'll open you up.
Well, I mean, really, if you want to do a good comparison, America is essentially the current day Aztecs. Like, oh, America, we're a bunch of fucking assholes. We fuck all kinds of shit up. So, you know, it's a good analogy.
Well, I mean, but the Aztecs, happy Thanksgiving, next door neighbor, Canada. Exactly. Happy Thanksgiving. Look, shit happens. And we're not there. That's one of the things I said. I was a guest of a podcast. It's like when people are trying to equate everything to the Holocaust and everything to the Nazis. We weren't there. We weren't there to see what the environment was or what was the ramp up to the Holocaust, or ramping up to how Nazis took over Germany and Europe. We weren't there to get the context of it. All we know is that the fucking Nazis are bad. The Jewish, the Jews being persecuted during the Holocaust, that's fucking bad too. And there's no to make an assumption that everything that's happening today is all of a sudden immediately labeled. I mean, it's almost It's insulting to those that have died fighting against Nazis and those have died in concentration. It's like insulting. So the same thing when it comes to calling it Indigenous Day. Which indigenous are you talking about? Because my indigenous background, they're dicks. Well, there's one side of the family that wasn't, but holy shit. They really believed. I mean, they really believe that fucking, you know, when people talk about cults and, oh, you know, can I say this? If I say like the Aztecs headdress is like a MAGA hat because it's like a cult or something like that, because there was already intertribal drama happening as it was with the Aztecs, which is why the Spaniards were able to go ahead and just said, fuck this. You know, they had help. But
that's everything with history, right? It's all so convoluted and nuanced, and we like to paint with broad strokes and be like good guys and bad guys,
yes,
victors and losers,
yes.
But so much more layered in its context,
ambiguity. Who was there at the time? I don't recall. I did speak, you know, growing up, we spoke to Holocaust survivors and stuff like that in high school assemblies, or we talked about World War II vets and stuff like that. And the context that we're hearing about what is considered fascism and Nazis and shit like that is different than what they had told me what it was. It was different when what they said, what was going on or what was like being in a fascist period. So I really think like the clutching of the pearls and, oh my God, you guys are celebrating Columbus Day. Well, I mean, fucking, wait, isn't everybody off today or something like that? I mean, did anybody get a day off? I mean, people like if you work for the federal government or something like that, it is a federal holiday. But there was some infighting with the Aztecs and other tribes to help the fucking the Spaniards succeed in taking over, south of the border. And like you were saying, American history goes the same fucking way. I wasn't there. Hey, look, I look at some of the reading from the lore of my family. And looking at from the legends of spoken, you know, oh, so-and-so said this, and did you hear about this? You know, it's almost like the Paul Bunyan type things, those legends of back in the day. Yeah. So we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the legend of, Paul Bunyan or something like that. So, so again, I just don't get how when you say Happy Columbus Day, it immediately has everybody clutching pearls, being so triggered on something that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
I appreciate, I mean, I don't want to sound like the standard stereotypical word. I have white friends. Don't get me wrong. I'm not racist. I have white friends, but white libs, holy crap. I mean, dude, stop playing, because with the exception of the ones that don't mind don't mind being on the take. Like if you are lazy and don't want to, like, of course people can take my fucking words out of context now. But if you want to be, if you don't want to work, if you want to be lazy, if you want to get fucking handouts and just get free money, fuck yeah, I'll be more than happy to walk over to any white liberal or liberal agenda or whatever to do it, hey, well, I don't want to fuck this. I don't want to, whatever. So I just find it funny that it's mostly the oh my God. And it's like I said, it's mostly white libs or, individuals that are rabble rousers anyways. That make it seem like saying Happy Columbus Day is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I was giving a buddy of mine so much shit the other day. He sent me a picture and he get this tattoo on his forearm. I was like, what the fuck is that? He goes like, oh, that's my tribe. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I knew he's like everyone in the South claims like some percentage of, of Native American or indigenous person, whatever. It's like this very common thing.
Yeah.
But evidently he has just enough that qualifies him for like a card. I don't know. But he's never given a shit about it before. And just randomly he gets the trial piece. I was like, oh, it's nice to see you finally give a fuck about your heritage. Like, where is it coming from?
And where were you at? Where were you at before? Like other individuals who are of said tribe going, am I a joke to you? Because you don't freaking, it's just like, it was funny as shit. I remember a long time ago when the movie Dances with Wolves came out. We talked about this before. And all of a sudden, all these white libs came out of the woodwork. Well, I'm whatever Cherokee, or I'm this, or I'm this Apache, and I'm this, Navajo. And I'm blah, blah, blah.
Congratulations, your ancestors raped some Native American people.
Yeah. And they look like you and me. And they will swear by it. And oh my, even though there's individuals that have lineal, okay, like you said, a quarter, a drop,
You're
whatever.
like 16 or something, like that. But it's funny though. I was like, hey, it's nice you finally like honoring your heritage. And he just sent me back a gift from the old commercial with the Indian in the single tier with the litter.
Oh yeah, who's not even Indian?
That's all he replied to me. I was like, you're such a dick.
And he's not even. Yeah, he's not. That's the thing too. Native, Indian. What are we calling him? What's the? What are we going to be finally, because libs like to call us Latinx, and so we don't like that. So I mean, is that name Indian okay to say, or Native? I mean, indigenous. I've heard that. I mean, there's different languages.
Yeah, I do remember growing up. So you'd say Indian, you'd be like dot or feather. Like that was. I still remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the thing about the podcast too that I was on over the weekend. Make sure you subscribe to Grimsby and Lamax Media's and Drew podcast Trunk Tales. It'll be my appearance will be debuting on I think sometime like this Friday or Saturday, and it was fun. And he's Latino, and he said he's like, yeah, he's like, you're Mexican, and that's what the joke was, dot or feather, right?
Right, back in the day,
Back in the day, yeah, and so now it's like, are we gonna get the preview of this? Yep, you guys will see. I got the raw today, just like right before one air. So we'll see. Well, I'm gonna review it just to triple check, and then make sure you guys get him a sub. Truck Tales on YouTube. I was on with Grimsby and Drew, and again, great crew. It was fun. It was fun to be on there talking the shit, and we did talk about a little bit like that about individuals, the grievance industry taking advantage of minorities, and then when it comes time for minorities to do something different than them, then of course they immediately will turn on them.
Super interesting that even within like the Latin community or whatever, that there's a hierarchy of races, whether you're from Spain, Mexico, Puerto Rico, whatever. Like there's still a hierarchy of who's best to the worst.
Oh man, to include different nicknames in English and Spanish and of what fucking languages you want to speak, and it's hilarious to see the dynamic of almost like case, almost like how
it's almost like internal racism.
Oh my God, it's savage. I get called Wedo, I get called wannabe, I get called coconut, and these are for Mexicans, by the way, that that look like Danny Trejo, or they look more Indian, even though they're like, wait a minute, you're mixed, how come you're a bleached out Indian, how come or Indio, whatever.
I worked with the Puerto Rican guy for a while, and then I also worked with, back when I was younger, pre-military, with a dude that was actually from Spain, like a Spaniard. And they were both very much locked in that hierarchy, because I found that out because I told the guy that was from Spain. I was like, dude, because he was such a dick. I was like, dude, you're just a European Mexican. And he got so offended by that statement.
Yes. As a matter of fact, if you call other indigenous, if you say the word snow Mexican, real Mexican, island Mexican, Asian Mexicans and stuff like that, and you just add it, dude. It fucking, oh man, and you're right because of that cast. Hey, yes,
I'm from Spain.
I'm from
Spain.
and they speak Spanish with a lisp more than how we speak Spanish. You know,
Barcelona.
yeah. Vosotros, nosotros. You know, they sound like that when they speak Spanish, but then when they speak English, they sound normal. And so I'm like, I break balls. I mean, because you know, families mixed of everybody, Latinos, and it's all the same thing. I break balls on some of the family members that come from the islands, and you know, or some of the ones that come from, you know, Mexico and stuff like. I don't know about the Spaniard stuff. I know some of the family members. It's funny. Some of the family members that find out that the name that we have, that our name comes from Spain, then immediately they go. Oh, they do that. They go. And they just immediately, as soon as they find out.
We're the OTs.
Yeah. You're like, what? I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. You're just as you're darker than me, and you fucking make tortillas just the best as like anybody else too. So stop.
That was my buddy that worked this Puerto Rican. He always said, "At least I'm not Dominican." I was like, "That's so fucked up, man."
It's like they're right next door to each other. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? So yeah, it's the same thing. So yes, there is a case system, and even in, you know, how we speak our language. Like for some reason, you know, a Spaniard will speak it with a different tone. Like yeah, exactly like Ton says. Como estás? You know, they speak with but then when they speak English, they speak normal. Well, they don't speak without a lisp. It's really weird. And then in Puerto Rico and Cuba, they speak rapid Spanish, cut off Spanish words, and they sound like they're eating a rock at the same time. And they're like, and you're like, dude, Mexican speaks slow ass fucking. I tired Spanish, you know. I want to sleep all the time. I'm tired, you know. It's just the way it is, you know. And of course, the more educated Mexicans, the whiter ones, because you'll see blonde-haired, blue-eyed Mexicans and shit. That's what I'm saying. I got fucked, man. My eyes, if you really look at my eyes, they're the bluish, brownish, hazel shit, bright. If you ever get, you know, close to see my face or something like that. And so it's like I have family members that we look, our features look the same, but they're darker than me. And we have a term for that. You know, oh, parece un Oaxacan. You're from Oaxaca. You know, it's like a Oaxacans or cheddar. We call them cheddars, the Indian looking ones. And I'm just like, the fuck?
Yeah, like looking at me, you would never know that I'm Mexican too. Like, cause we're related.
Yeah.
So,
That's like just somebody asked. They're like, bro, is your little brother, is that your son or your little brother or something like that? You and your son, that's so cool. You guys could do a podcast together.
I'm 1/24th Mexican. I'm claiming my
yeah, go ahead, claim it now. You want a card? I think call up the Democratic Party.
Mexican flag tattoo to show my heritage.
Yeah, órale, ande pues, get that, you know, 12 Street Locos ese, you know. Get all that. No, don't get me wrong. There are specific tribal stuff that we have in our families that, you know, in specific, like I said, and like you said, there's specific sets of our family members that are, I'm like, dude, don't act fucking hoity-toity. You come from the same dirt floor place that I fucking come from, you know, so don't even go there.
I guess, well, technically, so my grandfather, there's his whole side is all Black Irish. You know, the Spaniards married the Irish back then, so Irish with the black hair. That's that side. So I could probably claim some you know, Spaniard heritage.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you probably can. I mean,
I'm a mutt. I did a DNA thing, and I'm a fucking mutt.
Oh, you did do that? I'm so afraid, dude. I'm so fucking afraid of the cloning stuff like that. There are some freaking, you know, there are some fucking tinfoil beliefs that I have, and one of them is that they bought your DNA. They did that so they can continue to do their freaking.
I'm sure
they can continue to do your mRNA vaxes and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I assume that anything I do is just being used for some nefarious purpose. I've just made peace with it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, there's black Mexicans too. Yeah, exactly that. And literally to get, I don't want to jump on the fucking slavery shit like that because, you know, most of the slavery's bad. I'm just gonna say that right now because everyone's gonna fucking freak the fuck out and take my words out of context.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Even though the Bible says it's okay, slavery
it's wrong. Okay, no matter how much the Democratic Party likes to use minorities for their gig, it's wrong. Slavery's wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong.
So the majority of some of the areas of the African continent, some of them were slaves to the U.S., some of them were slaves to freaking Arabian, and then some of them are freaking Arabi, if you want to speak a little Shui Arabic, and then also some of the ones from the islands, Saint Croix and Jamaica, and those intermixed with other, and when was it just us Mexicans? I mean, Mexico abolished slavery. I mean, that's why everyone, when we talk about fucking Cinco de Mayo and stuff like that, and all the guys, my Confederacy, there's a Confederacy, celebrate. Please wear the sombrero. Wear the sombrero, and you'll see why, and study the Battle of Puebla, and you'll understand that Mexico was out to kick the French's ass to stop them from fucking supplying, equipment, supplies, resources to the Confederates. And so, so it's like
Dude, last time I was in Mexico, it's been years. The family that I was visiting threw a fucking sombrero on me and just laughed at me the whole time, and it was a great fucking time. We had a great time. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah, some people. Oh man, just like that little. I was posting that shit up about the sombreros. The Democrats, the Trump administration, vice president doing sombrero memes and shit like that.
Right.
So yeah, and just like Pip says, everyone did slavery, dealer. Just don't repeat it. To go back with the hey, shut up, Musa. Why are you trying to say, dude? Flour tortillas is flatbread. That's not flour tortillas. Those aren't.
It's corn or nothing, bitches.
Yeah, exactly. You see, that's how I know you're related. But yeah, so when I got a bunch of shit and posted, people like, hey, you shouldn't post this about indigenous and headdresses and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, that's me. That literally is. That's my heritage. That's my. You shouldn't wear that because that's offensive. I shouldn't wear that because it was offensive, dude. That. Okay, tell me what's not offensive then. Tell me what I can wear. Tell me what do you think I should look like then? What do you think I should celebrate?
They're pigeonholing you, man. They're not only assuming your gender, they're assuming your nationality, and that is frankly offensive.
They're trying to get down to my blood, bro. No, don't tread on me. You'll pry my headdress with my cold dead hands. But anyways, so again, happy Columbus Day. All that just to say happy Columbus Day. People freaking the fuck out, getting mad at me for that. So real quick, we'll just jump right in it. Dude, there's peace in the Middle East. Did you hear that? Is it going to happen? Is there really going to be peace in the Middle East?
Maybe it may be permanent this time. It's going to work.
You think so? You think so? I mean, so as of I think late. Well, it would have been our time. It would have been early. It was like early. It would be 6 o'clock Eastern time or 8 o'clock Eastern time. I can't remember that. The 20 surviving male hostages held by Hamas since October 7th have been released in the first phase of the brokered peace agreement planned by Treasy. Now, he visited Israel to oversee the exchange. In return, Israel freed nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners, including long-term detainees. I guess there were some that were involved that were not involved on October 7th, that in 2023 that were released as well. So is this the hey, this okay guys, this is it. Is this wiping the slate clean? Is it wiping whatever?
I mean, they've essentially wiped Gaza off the map, so they might as well be wiping something else.
Ooh, too soon? Too soon?
No, that's what it is.
War's war, dude. I mean, people. I already got people, shitting on me or got pissed off at me when I posted that. I don't give a fuck after protesters and Palestinian supporters desecrated a Los Angeles national cemetery. And they didn't get to the graves, but they were about to, and I just said, fuck it, I don't give a fuck what Israel does to Gaza. And the next thing you know, people gave me a bunch of shit for it. And I think personally, this is just me. Maybe if you don't go into a country on October 7th and do your shit and then expect the country not to fucking pay you back, then maybe. I wasn't a big fan of the comments that came out of individuals saying that it was genocide and all that. And I'm thinking, dude, I mean, people that are being released, people that are being whatever that you see, not people being released, but the ones celebrating that they were saying that there was a genocide, they look pretty healthy to me. They didn't look.
Yeah, well, the thing too that I think a lot of people don't quite take into account is the mindset for war between countries in that culture. It's just brutal. It's fucking brutal on either side. Like that's just how they've done shit for millennia. Like it's just nasty and it's brutal. It's like when the Japanese during World War II, those dudes were fucking insane. Like the atrocities that they committed, but that's the culture of their, their wartime culture, I guess.
They're their mindset. I mean, they were even why do I care about something that doesn't impact your own way of life? Huh? What? Wait, are you guys who are you talking to, Branko? Holly says that I've seen TikToks of troops at Bagram. Are they old videos? Yes, they're old videos. Because if we did take back Bagram right now, well, speaking of which, the Taliban and Pakistan they're duking it out right now.
Yep. In answer to Bronco, I don't give a shit about things that don't impact my life, but I like to talk shit about things that don't affect my life. So,
Bronco, you do it too. What are you talking about? So
he yelled at me one time for saying gay shit, so I don't want to fucking wear it.
Look, we're trying to stop this Latinx bullshit. Anyways, so I guess there's some mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey that are praising the deal for promoting regional stability. And of course, Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt. Somebody asked, where are those? Oh, that's a good question. Where are the free Palestinian people now? I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't understand why fucking Egypt, bordered there to fucking assist them when all the refugees were coming over. And I'm just like, nah, I just don't. You see Hamas fleeing, crawling all over the aid trucks. Look like Somalia. See, that's the thing. Some of the videos that we've seen and something like that are, how do I say this? There's so much that comes out that you cannot believe with whatever video they put out because it's bullshit. There was that one guy who everyone calls him he's the dude that looks like he was killed 15 times because he was posting videos and shit like that. And then I guess supposedly he died again by like you were talking about the factions, the separate factions and stuff like that.
But that's the crazy thing about where we're at now, right? As a society and as with social media and with news and with technology, you can't fucking believe half of more than half. I'd say 80% of the shit you see on the internet is just fucking fabricated or made or edited heavily, whatever the case may be. It's really hard to find actual source stuff that hasn't been fucked with or hasn't been doctored or hasn't been spun or whatever the case may be. And but with AI, with everything else, like some of the shit you see, it's like, is this real? I don't know if it's real. Like, what the fuck is this? It's getting scary.
Well, and the worst part about it is that the older generation are the ones that are promoting and reposting and all. Like you could go on Facebook right now, and if you follow a lot of military pages, all of a sudden the algorithm has you looking at a post that says this retired master sergeant did this, and you look at the picture of the guy, and it's all AI. Rank is all fucked up, doesn't have the right medals, not even the right uniform, and Meemaw and Grandpa like to fucking just share that shit and demand that you answer about why. Well, let's take this back right here with the how do I say this? The misinformation and the disinformation that's happening with Qatar. Okay? A lot of sales that we do to foreign countries involves them learning to use our shit. So if we sell our shit to another country, then the area where we can safely train them to use our shit would be at a U.S. base, would be at a whatever. I cannot believe, to include members of the veteran community, will sit there and screech and say, fucking Qatar's got a base in the U.S., has got a base here, and Qatar's doing this. And then someone goes, oh, wow, MAGA, how about this? Or then, I mean, these are both sides, and I'm thinking, y'all dumb fucks. I'm going to say, you some dumb fucks, because first off, anytime a foreign country in foreign sales buys our shit, in order for us to safely train them because they're buying our shit, we do it stateside. That's it. That's just the way it works. And not only do we do it stateside, but we have controls in place to make sure that they get trained on our shit, and blah, blah, blah. And they have minders, and we have people that make sure that, they're not fucking just wandering off or whatever.
And that's why the Taliban is all bilingual.
Well, I mean, we left our shit. Well, no, but you're right though. But you're right. We did it in Afghanistan. I think it was logistically impossible for us to do anything for Afghanistan other than to do it there, to train them how to fly our aircraft and all that. Which again, you notice, I love the fact that there's possible peace in the Middle East with Israel and Gaza and everybody involved, but we're not fucking. How do I say this? We left our fucking Afghan allies behind. Okay. So what about them? What about that? What about our Afghan allies that have had years, 2 decades worth of fucking training with us, and we just decided to go,
good luck, guys.
Yeah, see ya. Oh shit, this stuff's happening. Oh well, I guess we whatever, And then we of course we loaded up C-17s full of shit, full of shit and people, and then the next thing you know, we don't know who we have vetted through and all that process, or where they went. That's, I should say, a better process, because dude, when it comes to tracking that shit, we just fucked our Afghan allies left and right. Now the whole thing about the Qatari stuff, every time we have done anything with a foreign military, when it comes to our sales, we bring a contingent to them and we set up. And I think this is where the Secretary of War should have clarified a little bit better, or at least explained a little bit better. Hey, we're building a facility, blah, 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 blah. Here, we will be, building facilities to assist our Qatari partners and blah, blah, blah. Okay, there you go, right? That'd have been it. But instead, the way he worded it, it was misconstrued to make it sound like they were building like another fucking base that had a Qatari flag on it, and it had all this shit. And you're thinking, Jesus Christ, guys. If I will say this, how do I say this? If you really are pissed off about Qatar, then you better go call your grandpa, go to Fort Bliss, or go to Fort Sill, and introduce them to German soldiers that are there on our trading with our shit, because there are. There's also the Luftwaffe that are training, that are doing joint training events, and they have a facility. They have the Bundeswehr there. They have the Luftwaffe there, training on, and their facilities. There's a building. That's where all the Herms hang out. You got to build them something if they're buying our shit, the Patriot missile system, artillery systems, and stuff like that. And guess what they do for Ukraine? Fort Sill. What do the Ukrainians have? They have the HIMARS, right? Where do you think they got it from? Where do you think they learned how to use it? Fort Sill. There are facilities to train. There's no Ukrainian base and shit. There's not a separate base outside of Fort Sill to train the Ukrainians to use our HIMARS, right? So you got to build a facility for them to do it. You had to make sure that you have languages, different, individuals there and resources to train them in proper language. They're like, Ukrainian or English, whatever. Some Ukrainians are actually, I would say the majority of the Ukrainians that I know are pretty good English speakers anyways. And they're like us. They're pretty, list oriented when it comes to stuff like that. So we have other militaries, because they bought our shit, on our installations to train to use this. Yeah, I'm about to say, we have, oh my God, you imagine how we have like all of Europe and Singapore and Japan, I think, to fly our F-35s. Yeah. And nobody's saying anything about that. Nobody. I just don't understand what the big issue was. And I think the politicization, I can't even fucking talk. I'm about ready to jump. I was about ready to jump in all the languages of the countries that are, that are training on our bases. So it really is. It just blows me away that people are jumping on this of the Qatar thing. Now, I could have sworn Japan has Ospreys. Ooh, that's right. I forgot about the Ospreys. So it's pretty much the whole freaking thing of all of us assisting. Let's not even go on our tanks, on our armor equipment, our rockets, our missiles. We have schools. We used to call it the school for the Western Hemisphere. We used to call it the School of Julios, School of the Americas, at Fort Benning, where we bring all these Latin American leaders to come up and train. Guess what? PSYOP trained fucking Noriega. Right. So guess there's a lot of we've had this has been age old. if you go to CENTCOM, if you visit CENTCOM, MacDill Air Force Base, and you drive along, and the next thing you know, you see the CENTCOM headquarters, and then you look across the street, there's a place called Coalition Village.
Mm-hmm.
Every representative of Arab countries, Arab nations that are with us, supporting us, our allies, are in that village.
Yeah.
And so I think this is rabble rousing that doesn't require rabble rousing because people are using that for their politics. And I'm just.
Well, but that's everything right now, right? Like a lot of the shit that people are crying about or yelling about is stuff that like every president on both sides of the aisle have done for decades, right?
Right.
You know, as far as like in internment camps for illegals and deporting and all that stuff, like that's been happening in cages and all that shit for decades on decades. Of hell, it was done back in the day with the Japanese internment camps, you know, when during World War II, when we were shipping people off. Like we've always done this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that the MAGA side, they're a little more celebratory about it than other groups have been in the past. It's a little more in your face, but it's all the same shit that's been going on for forever under every administration.
Yeah. My thing that people don't realize is that the sale of these aircraft to train the Qataris was not in this administration.
Yeah.
It was a deal's a deal type of thing. And that's how we, you know, if our allies want these aircraft and all that, and some of it are for specific programs, this was already done in the previous administration. And like you said, and an administration before that, when it comes to life cycle stuff and all that, for individuals that are in the that know how the supply system have worked. Yeah, exactly. The contracting stuff, specifically when, like for instance, you buy one of the drama that's causing is the F-15, right? So the F-15, country buys a lot of them. Well, the F-15 also has evolved in a lot of parts. So pretty much it overlaps in an administration. It's just that's the way it is. There's no administration that's going to say, screw that, blah blah blah. Because bring up somebody just brought up an example. When I was visiting the troops, I can brag. Josiah, where you at? When I was visiting the troops and I was observing the PSYOP qualification course, there were several Eastern European countries in the course. I'm not going to name their names because that was one of the things that I was asked not to. But there were several Eastern countries. And then what were they doing? They were attending our PSYOP qualification course. God forbid. Don't go look at the nations that attend our Ranger School. Don't look at the nation that attends our Special Forces School or SEALs or Force Recon, because then that's what trips me out is like those that actually have it's almost like someone's bitching and being political. Oh my God, they're wearing the same boots that we're all wearing, and they're okay. Look, we could talk about Afghanistan. We left a bunch of shit there. I got that. That's the I would say that's the one anomaly, but
yeah. We left a lot of shit, but we took a lot of poppy. So, you know, it balanced out.
You know that movie that Netflix movie War Machine, where Brad Pitt is parodying or supposedly acting like supposed to be like General McChrystal or something like that. And he said the reason why all the poppy stuff, why we were there for so long, and the pharmaceutical. You notice you don't hear anything about the opioid crisis anymore?
Yeah, I know it's unfortunate, but I still can't get them. God damn it!
No, but you notice that though, right? You notice during the GWOT, or the Global War on Terror, you notice that a lot of the opioid stuff, the epidemics that are still happening and all that was always highlighted in the news. Once Afghanistan, once we finished up in Afghanistan, which we hope are finished in Afghanistan, you notice that you didn't hear much about the opioid. Now you hear about the fentanyl crisis. That's because China and also the stuff, but
well, nobody. It's funny to me too, as far as getting people getting riled up about certain things, but like kind of like that, nobody gets fucking riled up about the U.S.'s involvement in the fucking drug trade, which is insane. How much we're involved in that, and human trafficking, because all that stuff gets us information and gets allies. Like we're heavily involved with all that fucked up shit, but people just, you know, that's like, oh, it's not as much on the radar. Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. And it's not, and you're not going to get, how do I say this? You're unless you understand or have served in the military or understand how these programs work, you're on the outside looking in. Because I get at least I have some friends that have never served and know that I'm a veteran or have talked to other veterans. They say, hey Ken, what's the deal with this Qatar shit? Oh, well, here's the reason why. Blah, blah, blah. We did the same thing for I say the same thing I'm saying now. We did the same thing for the Ukrainians. The Germans have, Air Force bases, contingents. They have little facilities on Air Force bases and in Arizona as well, to train to fire, our weapons. And, it's really like a nothing to nothing type of thing. It's almost like there's really nothing. I don't understand why people are getting mad, but there's those agitators out there. There's those influencers out there that go, oh shit, there's something going on here. They're building a bass and guitar, and they're taking money, and they're doing, even though it was something from the Biden administration. And what's funny is that there's people from the Biden administration that are on the left,
right?
They're not bringing that portion up, of course, obviously because of politics. If they, you can't.
And like what you were saying, right? Or a lot of people don't realize that there's actually a legal side to all this too. There's contracts that are signed. There's the government can get sued for not upholding their contract. They can lose some money, loss of, relationships with these countries. I mean, there are fucking contracts that are signed that we will fulfill X, Y, and Z, and vice versa, right? And so there's a precedence to some of this that people don't even realize. Like, oh, at one time we were on good terms, we signed a contract, and now we got to fucking deliver because we signed a goddamn contract.
Yeah. And we have to deliver because then there's legality stuff on that.
That's what I'm saying.
And there's legality stuff that you can, that the country can lodge with, hey, and also a lot of the stuff is congressional too.
Yeah.
A lot of it's like Congress fucking authorized it. A lot of the stuff. So look back at this whole freaking, the sale to, hey man, sorry that we sold it. That's our shit. They got to. Oh my god, are they going to be dropping bombs? Well, that's part of like doing fighter shit. You got to shoot. And there's things that happen and stuff like that. Yeah. And there are controls in place to do that for them to do that, right? You notice that nobody's fucking saying anything about Pakistan using our F-16s to go out and do shit. Dropping bombs on the Taliban. That place is fucking heating up. A friend of mine said that if Pakistan gets a greater KD ratio than us, I'm gonna be sorely pissed because they have nukes, and Pakistan will be like, you wanna whatever. Patrick says, do they pay property taxes on that land? See, that's the thing. That's part of the program, part of the contract. Is there that land is not land? It's not separate land, Patrick. It is on a military installation, and that money is used to make sure that they are housed in what normal barracks would be for anybody else would be training in, and classrooms. Yeah. And sometimes some of those facilities don't even have to be built. Yeah. So there has to be something that provided for them while they're training.
And the irony is when they do build them, they usually don't have mold. Just saying.
I was about to say, you notice that? You never heard, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Asking any of our foreign militaries that have trained us when they build these facilities for you on our installations, did you guys have problem with mold? I wonder. I'm curious. Or does that come with the same mold? See, I don't know. That's a good question though. Do you just want to go through the break?
I'm good, man. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm in it for the ride, homie. Here with you.
There we go. Hey.
Right.
So again, I'm just like, yeah. What am I speaking of bombs? What are your thoughts about the Tennessee military weapons factory blowing up? How unfortunate. That's I mean, our thoughts, I don't want to sound fucking cliche. Our prayers are with the families of those that were killed and injured in that.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah,
shit.
It was a big fucking explosion, dude. It was a fucking huge.
Where's the weapons factory? Is that like Oak Ridge or is that Middle? Like where the fuck is that in Tennessee?
Where? Oh shit! Here we go. Now fucking got me on. Hey Holly, just throw it out there, man. Since you're throwing this information out there.
Yeah.
Trying to hang on. Explosion. Let's just do the Googleizer.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Middle Tennessee. It's where I'm from originally.
Yeah.
And then I lived in East Tennessee for a while, but I have no idea like where weapons. The only thing I know about weapons is like Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and they do all the nuke shit testing and all that out there.
It's in Bucksnort, Tennessee. The blast destroyed a building and fell up to 20 miles away.
Okay.
Yeah, and 20 miles. It was filled up to 20 miles and left 19 workers missing. Several deaths and injuries have been confirmed. And AES makes explosives for military and industrial use. So,
interesting. Okay,
let me.
I know. I played a few baseball tournaments in Bucksnort back in the day.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me go back to the. There we go.
Yeah, 45 minutes from Nashville. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
about that.
So that was what that was the facility. It looks like, it's
Shit.
like, yeah, that's
It's crazy.
that's insane. And so they do contracting stuff. So what are my thoughts on it? I don't want. It's kind of fucked up to know what the fuck happened when look at it. I mean, we have the best blast analysis here in the States. I don't know. Will we be able to find out unless there's some sort of solid state camera system of recording in the facility?
What I picture is like a cartoon of somebody was smoking a cigarette and threw it down and it lit something on fire. That's
or
what
something.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's usually what it is. It's a misstep, something not seen, and then it gets, like I said, hopefully there's CCTV footage of the explosion so we can see whatever. Because I know those types of facilities, for what they do, military contracting, of course, and industrial use, they have to have cameras. There has to be some, because I know the ATF are really involved in stuff like that. And so if the video provides what happens, but I don't think that you could piece together anything right now. Looking at that fucking
there's not many pieces to put together.
That's what I'm saying. Christ. Yeah, exactly. So that's all we have. That's all we know on the explosion. That's my thoughts. I think it could have been an industrial or misstep or something like that. But until we see anything else, that's all I'm gonna go on. I mean, I have other tinfoil stuff that has nothing to do with this. My tinfoil is more of the underground cells that are trying to subvert our government and cause disarray and drama. So
thanks, Diddy.
Speaking of Diddy, dude, do you hear he wanted to freaking go to Fort Dix? No pun intended. To serve out his time. I mean, there's the dad joke right there. Fort Dix.
Yeah. It's like I told my stepson or the earlier day, I was like, hey man, I'm proud of you. I always got your back. And I know you like that because you're fucking gay. Same thing.
See, family though could break balls like that, just like how my family breaks balls about Latino stuff and different cases, stuff like that. Yeah. It sucks. Yeah. So far right now, what we got is 19 people are missing and obviously more than likely dead. And then there's also injuries out there or something like that. So if you look at the situation of where, and here's my thing. Stop with the fucking tinfoil until we find out what happened. And then once we find out the official statements of what's going on and we see evidence of that, then you get tinfoil afterwards.
Then we can question those. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can, that's one, because then you're like, if you see a camera and something like that, because then sometimes I go, yeah, whatever. But there's already people on TikTok going, well, you know why, right? It's because they found out something and it blew up, and they blew it up because somebody's trying to cover something. When it could have just been a disgruntled fucking employee, like you said, somebody who didn't want to fucking deal with the shit anymore, did a misstep, smoking a cigarette or something like that.
One of my favorite, there's going to be like one guy there. He was like, oh man, that man invented how to run cars off of water, and they had to take him out. So they had to make it look like a big industrial accident because
that's where he worked.
Yeah. Big oil ever got into the hands of other people, man. They just blah, blah, blah,
that's where he worked, and guess what? He figured out how to split the atom without the government's assistance. And the next thing you know, boom, it gets vaporized.
Yeah. So
that's all the tinfoil stuff that you can probably muster up in an event like this. But I mean, I get a ton of TikToks sent to me. Those of you who send me a ton of TikToks know who you are. And I just sit there and go, yeah, cool. I mean, you and I send TikToks to each other too. So it's like, did you see this shit? Did you believe this shit? This guy, and then this ain't happening, right? That's how you and I were freaking involved in the Eastern North Carolina drama of them, plowing down.
Lithium mines out here.
Yeah, the lithium mines. The children's getting stopped at school to go work in the mine. What was the other one? A whole town was going to get bulldozed because of this, so they could build 2 Walmarts. Or something.
The military was moving in to take over different towns to set up shit up in the mountains. Yeah,
exactly.
We're too old to go to the mines. I tried.
Exactly. Holly says because what was that? OSHA is very loose in
regs
Tennessee.
In Texas.
I'm saying, but I could see that, because there's like get her done mentality. We just got to do it. You'll be all right. Just rub some dirt on it. Next thing you know, boom.
Yeah, and the irony of that is like you got Middle Tennessee, and right across the state line you have Huntsville, Alabama, with the Redstone Arsenal and all that shit. And it's a lot tighter in that area, but that's just across the state line from a lot of that shit. So I find that odd. But half the people from, like it's a lot. It's weird how they have that divvied up. Because Huntsville is basically built on fucking Warner von Braun and Nazi technology.
Oh, you did it! You did it! Nazis, man. I had a feedback in my mind just when I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Huntsville, Alabama, more like fascism, Alabama.
Fascism. Alla Nazis.
Where you can fuck your cousin and tell everybody what to do.
You better shut up. Exactly. You guys don't think Alabama's smart enough to have Space Command over there? They get to talk about Huntsville and stuff like that. And we're like,
Yes, what do you call an Alabama girl that's faster than her brothers? A virgin?
Yeah.
Fucking Alabamians.
Oh man. PIQ says, "Sweet home, Alabama."
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, that is a good one. So yeah, I just don't. I just think that the whole freaking the whole. How do I say this? There is that mentality. I will say that, and I will say I've seen it both out west and in the south. How back east, the shit don't get done because they overregulate things, and they don't know. At least out west and in the south, they try to fix something. They try to do something. Up in northeast, in New England, all they want to do is overregulate everything, and then take some what was that? What was the big dig in Boston that took they didn't even finish? Is it even done yet? They're always having construction up there to dig stuff out. So I've never heard of that manufacturer. Every vet that I've asked for say they haven't either. What are you talking about? What manufacturer are we talking about? There was a comedian working there in 2020. Fire broke out in the ceiling, and he put it out. Held a hero Monday, terminated Wednesday. Oh wow, okay. So I never heard of that manufacturer yet. Well, see, that's a lot of things too. People don't realize there's a lot of. You don't know what's going on in your state then. Dude, talk about that to be in a tinfoil.
Ooh.
You don't know. Maybe you don't know your state. Well, you say you do. I tell you what, right now, those guys are happening. You see that TV show or that movie? Not TV show. The movie, The Mist, right? How the movie The Mist begins, and it's because the guys on. And I don't know if they were trying to say something like Cheyenne Mountain or something like that. They were trying to make a parallel that there was up in the mountain. They're doing stuff with. Portals and stuff like that, and they unleash the mist, and the next thing you know, all this shit happens in the movie. And so,
all I know is you can't trust a state that's that long.
You can't. Massachusetts. Yeah. So the one that blew. Yeah. So you don't know that. You don't know how. You don't know that, Holly. You don't know that. You left Nashville before that attack Christmas party. Oh, yeah. That one guy that was driving up in the middle of Nashville had that RV and had a countdown.
Yeah. I don't know how he got that RV there through traffic in Nashville.
I was about to say, I wonder, I mean, you kind of bring up a pretty good tinfoil point, though, Holly, because it exploded. It only killed the guy, but didn't kill anything else. It didn't disrupt much. I think supposedly it was supposed to next to some tower or something like that before all this 5G drama got stupid, and people don't realize it's just like the gay frog shift with fucking
so much.
Yeah,
it was gonna activate the fucking tracers that were in the vaccine and cause all kinds of mind control shit to happen.
And it was gonna come through your skin if you didn't realize it. You know how you got it when your skin start glowing. Yeah, no, you're right. That the way I saw that 5G stuff happening was the same. It was the same as the Y2K fear that everyone was freaking out about.
Wait till they hear about 6G. Jesus Christ.
6G multiband, along with CDMI, GSM. There you go.
There's going to be some sign of the fucking beast in that shit.
Exactly. And all the illegals are going to turn into zombies. Oh, speaking of illegals, and illegals get benefits than veterans, and some of us illegals. Whoa, hang on. And illegals get benefits than veterans now. Veterans. I think you meant to say more than veterans. Many of us
illegals get benefits.
There are many of us are homeless, but illegals getting a free ride. I'm not saying that they're not. They put chemicals in the water to try to turn Pepe gay, and they failed. They're talking about the frog, Alex Jones gay frog stuff.
maybe.
I'm just gonna say that I'm just saying all the tinfoil stuff that people like to add to. I want your energy. I want your energy. Like I actually want to sit there and drink, get drunk with you or something like that, or smoke with you.
Yeah, I like to take those tidbits and feed them back to people and just watch them get all riled up. I do that with my family.
I have to be careful because of my former line of work, and I literally have to be careful because I one time made a joke and said something that made it so freaking that exploded that I won't say what it was, but I will admit that I shouldn't have said that, and I had to tell the person, dude, that's not what happened. That's not what I heard. Somebody else confirmed it with you, and I'm like, here we go.
That was like the guy I told you about. I found out that I worked with. I found he was a big flat earther and huge conspiracy guy, and I just fed into it the whole time I was hanging out with him. But now I get like 30 fucking conspiracy. So it's backfired in the long run.
they're like, hey Massey, now since you're in the know, and because and they see you on the podcast and they know that you and I talk about stuff like that. See, I thought you said you didn't know.
He told me, he's like, you were in the military, you know some stuff, don't you? I was like, yeah, I know some stuff. Like that's how I'm like, yeah, I've seen things, I know things. Yeah, sure. Oh, you can't say that it's true, can you? I'm like, nope, can't say if it's true or not.
Well, it's funny. What's funny though is that the Coast Guard, people don't realize the Coast Guard is involved in some stuff that to do some of the experiments. And I will say this, some of the experiments that the Navy has conducted has been with Coast Guard assistance to make sure that they can conduct those experiments. And
when I was on L2 Island, we had a seismic monitoring station that just happened to be 30 miles from fucking Russia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then when you do say something like that, that's when politics in play again. You're just talking like Sarah Palin when she said she could see Russia from her back porch or front porch or whatever, when she made that comment. You were literally you're that close. You were, I mean, that's what I people don't realize the way the world works is that the Coast Guard has been assisting the Navy when the Navy, so in case the signal goes out, we're of sound body and mind, and we want to live. That the Navy, when they conduct a lot of their experiments, and the Navy does more wild. I mean, the movie that fascinates me the most when it comes to tinfoil stuff is like the Manhattan Project, the Philadelphia experiment, those stuff like that. And you just like want to know what outlier stuff. And then there's the there's the Coast Guard, quiet,
just hanging out,
quiet. They're not saying anything. They're part of these same facilities that the Navy's at, and they're guarding them. But they don't say shit. The Navy's always like, oh, we had a FOIA this and FOIA that and all this stuff. But you don't ever hear about the Coast Guards. The Coast, he's talking about the UFOs they've seen or part of the experience.
We provide security for most of the naval vessels in port and stuff. That's what we did in during a lot of the Middle East conflict. Is you had all of our stuff out there. We basically ran LE in patrols 4-hour vessels out there. So yeah, we're involved in all that shit.
Yeah. So when all of a sudden the black hole set up in the middle of near the just off the coast of the freaking Alaskan coast.
Somebody has to guard the weather machines, man. That's all I'm saying. Somebody has to guard the weather machines.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know what? I just realized that you never hear a word anything about the Coast Guard. I think it's time you need to like throw some tidbits of whatever. I mean, because the Navy. It's almost like the Navy had the sack to do a lot of shit that maybe you shouldn't have been doing, like open portals and doing, specific weapons testing that they don't admit now. But then when someone brings it up, they get immediately people freak out in the Navy. They're like, oh, we can't talk about that. Oh, we can't do this. We can't do that. Air Force, they build the spooky stuff. But the Navy, I got an idea. Let's get these two electrical fields, smash them together, put them on a ship, and see what happens. Right. And then there's a Coast Guard guy smoking a cigarette. Do you see that blue glow? Yeah, that's right. That's what we say the Northern Lights are. Oh, okay, yeah. That's what the Northern.
We're good.
Yeah, okay, that's what the Northern Lights are. See, it's little shit like that. See, just our conversation like that. I think right now some tinfoilers can run around and go, see. Yeah. And the next thing you know, Alex Jones' phone's picking up. I was right. The fucking psyop piece of shit was saying talking about this on the Coast Guard. I see his little buddies right there.
Yeah.
Blame the Space Force. Ooh, yeah. See, that's the thing too. We have not heard anything about the Space Force other than, we're just doing exercises.
Yeah.
We're just doing training. Maybe we're not gonna do this, and maybe you don't hear about that.
Yeah.
Can you blame the Space
It's,
Force
it's,
though?
it's always the quiet ones, man. Always
Yeah.
the quiet ones.
Yeah, you're right. It's the Coast Guard or the quiet ones. See, I'm gonna have to hang out with more Coast Guard people, aside from you. You know what I mean? Because you have to introduce me. You have to have the Coast Guard party or something like that. Or
Yeah. I'm actually going to a party for my. I'm actually playing a big get together mini festival thing at my one of my old CO's place down in Georgia in November.
Oh, how cool!
You gonna be my plus one?
Yeah, just you come by yourself. Yeah. Massey, why do you have the roll of tape? Shut up.
If you're with me, you never come by yourself, brother.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Malcolm's gonna start yelling at me again. Jesus, I better tip it down.
Exactly. All right, so we really went off a tangent on that one. That was an incredible tangent. So currently, right now, are we going to get paid or not? Are U.S. forces going to get paid? I know if you guys have paid attention to all the news and seeing what's been happening, are we going to get, or I should say, is the U.S. military going to get paid? AUSA is kicking off. Everyone's kind of like quiet about it. If you guys don't know why, everyone's like, what's an AUSA? If you guys don't know what's an AUSA or have not followed the timeline on U.S. Army WTF moments, then I'd suggest you scroll at least past the first 5 posts and scroll a little bit further down so you can see exactly what we are, what we're talking about. Because some of the reference is also you have to be in the military. So ask your military friend or family member when it comes to, hey, what is AUSA? AUSA is the Association of the United States Army, and supposedly they're a lobbying group for U.S. soldiers and all that. And we just call it ArmyCon. It's where everybody who wants to sell their wares to the Army, helicopters, tanks, and stuff like that. At any rate, so the Pentagon moves $8 billion. See the thing too, you want to talk about the Black Ops stuff? You want to talk about tinfoil? The Pentagon moves $8 billion from research to pay troops. $8 billion. So there's a fucking $8 billion just laying around like that. That was
I mentioned living in Huntsville, Alabama, right? That's where all the big aerospace, a lot of that fucking Black Ops shit goes down for development and research and all that stuff. It's
shifting. $8 billion. Now, here's another thing too. Is it $8 billion just for this pay period? Or is it going to be for the subsequent, the next, right? So the Department of Defense is shifting $8 billion in previously allocated money. We're in the new fiscal year. Everybody knows that the fiscal year. So we are in FY 26 right now, even though we're in the year 2025, because October 1st is the beginning of the fiscal year. So this is FY 26. So wait, they projected this was already this is already money. Is this the money from the DFACs that you should have given us, the troops? I'm just saying. This kind of looks a little suspicious when we have $8 billion of previously allocated money. The shutdown approaching 2 weeks, and Congress has still not looked at any changes of votes or any vote. Everyone's pointing fingers. Everyone's saying memes and sombrero hats are not going to do it for our forces. We need to have results. And right now is not a time to put your mouth in this situation, because do you know why there's a shutdown? Do I know why? Does any of you in the audience know why? Aside from your political talking points and what your news sources are, because I know Fox News blames the Democrats and CNN blames the Republicans, and then you have the libertarians blaming everybody, and then you have communists saying they just want more free shit. So the funding is being drawn for the Department of Defense money for military research, development, and testing. Boy, we just actually, damn, Massey, you kind of walked right into this tangent with this topic. Well, talking about the Coast Guard stuff. Wait a minute, is this Coast Guard money? Yeah.
Dude, the Coast Guard wasn't lost their ability to do shit without congressional approval because we wasted. Because most places they want proof of concept. Yeah. Coast Guard's like, oh, that looks good on that computer screen. Let me just write you a check. Oh, it's over. Let me just get you another check. Okay, we still more money. Oh, let me give you another check. And Congress was like, no, fuck you guys. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's PIQ says in the Xbox. Sorry, me and my boy were playing Xbox last night late, and it was fun as shit playing. Anyways, I digress. Anyways, why doesn't the military create a GoFundMe to get soldiers paid? You know what? That's pretty fucking pathetic. I think there should be some sort of protection to all the troops when it comes to their pay. Period. Now, outside of Congress, regardless of a shutdown or not, everybody knows. I mean, of course, you can't just like say you can't will it away like that because of the way Congress and military funding work and appropriations work. But didn't Trump pay the troops last term in a shutdown situation? I don't think he has. So Department of somebody said DOT money. You got Bridie Poe in the freaking YouTube chat. Appears to be a Coast Guard.
I would also like to point out though, just we got those billions of dollars to continue to pay the troops. They just we just have this lying around, but we still have Molden barracks.
Yes.
Year after year after year.
So the reason I'm glad you brought that up. So the reason, and this will explain the memes about AUSA. So the Republican control. This is from Task and Purpose. The Republican controlled House of Representatives rejected a proposal to pass a standalone bill to pay troops. Now this is what they want to do. Yeah, let's get the fucking let's all the drama we can have. Let's pay the troops first, so we can continue it on the other end. That I understand. That could have been a good compromise to pay the troops on a standalone bill. I never understood why Congress likes to do we can't pass this unless you pass this to pass this to pass that. Why does
all the tie-on amendments and bills that all get stacked?
Yeah, exactly. All the additional pork, all these additional stuff like that. And then when people actually start reading the bill, nowadays people are reading the bills more, and you're like, damn, I don't want to fucking fund, fruit fly, whatever, mating habits and whatever. For the troops, the standalone bill should always be for the troops. Period. Mm-hmm. And that's what I understand. So on Friday, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said he would not be holding votes this coming week at House of Representatives until the Senate passes a bill. The Senate is not expected to hold any votes until Tuesday, tomorrow, just before the troops are expected to be paid. Now, there's DFAST policies. There's other policies within DOD on how things should be paid and all that. And with that, when that happened, when it was a rumor that the Army's not going to show up because they're not going to get paid, the Association of the U.S. Army donated to the U.S. Army money to continue this conference. There is no, there's no, this isn't a, we're not bashing AUSA. I'm just saying this is something that AUSA, I think, has bad optics on. These are bad. I'm going to be your mentor here. There's some bad optics. This is some bad optics. You should not have the troops think that they're going to lose their fucking pay or not get paid, having to go AER, which ironically was just timing that Tony Grinston came on, the retired SMA, who's now the CEO of AER, to talk about the donating even more. Now more than ever, we need to donate to AER, but it was just timing. But I think it's just bad optics that AUSA gave the Army $1 million to continue the conference when we got troops. Like, I think would have been the smartest thing to do would have been to cancel the conference, cancel AUSA, donate that $1 million, and it's just me as if I was AUSA, donate those millions of dollars, maybe even $2 million, or at least ask the companies that are attending AUSA as well to do like a match. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like AUSA pays $1 million to AER to help the troops out, and then all the companies that are attending the conference say, "Hey, match us. Yeah, match us as close as you can." So that way, name your corporation that's out there, name your weapon system manufacturers out there. Hey, we're going to donate $500K to AER. We're going to donate, at least on the Army side. I'm just saying on the Army side. This is an Army-centric thing. So I go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just think that it really looked bad that AUSA just should have canceled it and donated the money, but it really looked bad to make it seem like it was a let them have cake, let them eat cake situation, which is why the memes we posted about AUSA are up and probably going to be happening throughout the entire conference. They should feel uncomfortable. There is a lot of units, because I remember, and you and I talked about this, how when the shutdown was going to happen, that immediately all these social media pages were going to say, due to the shutdown, updates will be limited. Well, we are seeing rogue pages. We are seeing pages of units, and I'm glad these garrisons are doing it, of what to do during this time in a financial crunch. One of the things that I didn't like seeing was all the senior leaders saying, well, you guys better, save up money for blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, dude. You don't tell an E3 or an E4 that you should have saved money better.
Yeah, they already have a 40% interest rate on their fucking Mustang.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing too. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of it is it spending. Look, and I was telling somebody that I didn't feel comfortable. Like if I were to lost a paycheck at a certain rank, what rank was it that you had where you felt comfortable, or not comfortable, but you felt like you had enough to be okay with if you didn't get it? At what rank? I know some individuals that I know say, well, it wasn't until I was a staff sergeant and I'm single, blah, blah. For me, it was Sergeant First Class, E7. I felt like if I didn't get paid a check, then it would have been I'd have been like, okay, I could do it, but not a private, not a private who has 2 to 3 kids, who lives off post, who's barely scraping by as it is, who already has to pay exorbitant amount of money for, depending what state they're in.
Child support, alimony.
Child support. I am a divorce enthusiast, so yes.
Right.
Why do you think it was okay for me? Because as a Sergeant First Class, because I was so used to having my money taken anyway. Right. But when you have your specialists, your buck sergeants, and you have your PFCs and privates and stuff like that, it is really hard for me to swallow. Nor is it's looking pretty cringe on your end when you say, we're gonna go ahead and give the Army $1 million to keep our fucking conference going, even though there's a shutdown and even though soldiers may not get paid. What's even worse is the Army goes, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah.
And now this is going to make Army leaders, this is going to make the organization that donated the money, it's going to make them look bad. I'll be honest with you, AER has come in clutch for a lot of the troops. Everyone got mad at us because, we were fiercely defending AER. And make sure you donate to AER. Everybody knows that. I'm always simping out for them. Yeah. But it shouldn't take AER for this situation to fucking get fit. Yeah. Again, the optics of it looks bad. Organization says we'll bail the Army out. The Army says, yeah, we'll go ahead and take that money. And then meanwhile, we don't know if we're going to get paid. And now the president comes out and says, I'm going to direct money that I didn't know we had. I mean, I didn't think we had money. I was like, oh shit, $8 billion to pay the troops. So it's just one of those things to where it also makes a lot of the cabinet look better trying to fix this situation for the troops.
Yep. Dude, if I was on the international stage and I was a dictator in some company, for the sake of propaganda and humiliating, I would be like, we'll pay your troops salary since you can't afford to do it.
I'm glad you brought that up.
If I was for China, I'd be like, we'll pay your salary, US.
I'm glad you brought that up because you know what? TikTok, feet selling, and OnlyFans stocks are going up.
Yeah.
Subscriptions are going up. Somebody sent me some links that I'm like, we're not going to post that. We're not going to post that. So I will say this. If you're selling feet, boobs, or ass on OnlyFans, it's because the soldiers are scared. If you're
filling up with employment when the soldiers deploy, right?
Exactly. All of a sudden, Pornhub explodes. Yeah. So it's almost like a cascading effect. And you brought up a good point. During Desert Storm, I don't know if the controversy back in the day in the military circles, if you were around that time, which I was. In the circles back in the day, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Kuwait wanted to give soldiers that participated in Desert Shield and Desert Storm that were in there, they wanted to pay them money. Like they wanted to pay them, like, hey, we'll pay you such amount of money. Well, then our president at the time, George H.W. Bush, said, no, we can't accept that money because it looks like it's bad optics, and our soldiers are not mercenaries. So how the hell does this look years later, decades later, that a organization, a foundation, whatever you want to call it, organization that says they're for the troops, gives money to the Army to continue with their Army con, and the Army goes, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, that's good.
I sell mason jars with ghosts inside of them. Hell yeah, Baconator. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So I just, again, bad optics. Now, in a lot of these situations, and I said I would bring this up on tonight's live, is somebody said, why did you use CNN? I'm going to go back to the grading scale of how we use our stories or how we get our information. Because the inbox, just to give you guys a little trail here of how it works. Can I say Trail of Tears due to the fact that it's Columbus Day? Is that too soon?
It's app.
Is that there's a sequence of events that happens when a story or an issue hits the inbox. If it is a barracks, facility, or defect issue, I hit up Hots and Cots, because Hots and Cots now is a collaborative app that we have pinned to the post of the pages, of course. And me and Rob Evans will go back and forth and say, here's the information here, here's the information there, here's the building number, blah, 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 blah. And so that's the facilities and stuff. And then you see it posted on Hots and Cots. See, that's how it works. A long time ago, somebody said, we're just a Facebook page and you guys aren't real media. And because you guys aren't real media, you don't have legitimate, or you don't have, sanctioned and, bona fides with media companies. So your story is shit. You're just posting memes just to do rage bait. Well, so what do? We give all the story. It's almost like a stock exchange. We're like, all right, we got this story about barracks. We got this, we got this story about toxic leadership. We got this story about AUSA giving money to the Army and the Army accepts. Who wants the story? Here are the deets.
Yeah.
And whatever media outlet decides to say, hey, give me that information, I'll take it. Task and purpose. Or give me that information. I wouldn't mind writing about it so I can hit up some other people. Fox News, Breitbart. I mean, CNN. So some of the stories that you see shared on our timeline at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio will have some sort of genesis or have gestated in our inbox. And we don't have writing staff. We don't have people who write articles and stuff like that. Yeah. So when we posted it, holy crap, dude. It made everyone's like, why are you guys fucking posting? Why are you guys posting CNN? Because it was a story that was written by CNN, Haley Britsky, who a former writer for Task and Purpose, who was pivotal in exposing me, not exposing me. That sounds kind of weird. For highlighting me when I was revealed my identity. At AUSA, because everybody knew, speaking of which, AUSA back in 2019, she was pivotal and instrumental in revealing the story of who my identity was and who I was behind the scenes at U.S. Army WTF Moments. So we kind of keep those relationships going. And unless it's, I don't get involved in some of the political stuff she would write about, or anybody else who writes about anything. But if it's something that has to do with the troops and it's something that we reported and we verified it, you guys forget, we are usually one Kevin Bacon away from a lot of the information that is posted on the timeline.
Yeah.
And so, what was that? Somebody says, are we collabing with Viva La Vargas? I have all individual, some, not all of them, but some of the major influencers. We have each other on speed dial. So someone will say, hey, can I get some information? Blah, blah, blah. Same thing with leaders. Leaders are the same way. So again, I'm just telling you guys, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. It's a bad look when the Army receives $1 million. Now, look, if this conference was like a month later, a week later, or something like that, while this situation was not getting fixed, they should have. I understand time constraints. I understand conference stuff like that, but it's just a bad look. Yeah, just a bad look. So, I just that's how it works. Everyone's like basically, what are you guys doing? Oh, blah, you guys are like selling out to CNN. You guys are selling out to Fox News. We get it all. We're sellouts to everybody.
I love that mindset. Like, just because a station is precluded to one demographic that they kind of cater to does not void out the fact that they can have good writers or good reporters or good journalism, right? Just because they overall cater to one area doesn't mean that they can't have any good news that comes out of their ranks.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing too. But I mean, there's other, like I said, CBS News, NBC News, Fox News, OAN. I mean, all of them
up from the AP anyway.
Yeah, and most of the stories are picked up from the AP as well, and some of the AP stuff like that. I mean, I even had Business Insider talking shit about it. We even had the Business Insider talking shit about us.
Nice.
Yeah, Business Insider. I don't know what the hell, the Business Insider has to do with U.S. Army WTF moments, but they're pissed off at the fact that the current display of leadership that likes to talk shit about political stuff when they shouldn't be online gets highlighted. And honey, we've been in the game for almost 20 fucking years. Yeah, 20 years, 15 years so far since the birth of U.S. Army WTF moments, January 7th, 2010. And so,
Business Insider, I barely know her.
So yeah, exactly. So imagine W watching the news these days. Yeah, exactly. Holy shit, what the hell's going on? There's peace in the Middle East. Hey Dick, shoot another buddy in the face because we're gonna increase our stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. You know what I mean? If we talk also from PCS like a pro, and this is from PCSs have stopped because of the government shutdown. Now look, yeah, exactly. 15 years with 10 times the cocky. Oh my God. We posted already. There's a couple of scam pages out there that say they're us. They're not us. Shit.
That's who I gave my money to. God damn it.
So again, S2 Underground and Bears, my two main lines. Oh, S2 Underground. Yeah. I've interacted with them before too. But again, PCS moves are stopped. We don't have money to PCS. We don't have money to, and this is gonna be a Sergeant's Time topic later, but so I get it. I get the whole freaking the payment of the soldiers comes first, but it's a really bad look to have an outside organization that we can't say is ethical or unethical or whatever, and then they pay. That's like the Army receiving a giant gift. If I'm in the military and I receive $1 million gift from an outside organization, whether they simp for the Army or not, it looks bad. So, I have a buddy at Bliss that already moved out of his apartment. Yeah, that's the thing too. So hit up PCS like a pro as well. As a matter of fact, let me drop the link to that comment.
Yes, sir.
So that way we can get all PCS like a pro. Megan is always giving us the right updates and stuff like that. So let me maybe just put this in the inbox or in the chats, and that way y'all can get it. Come on, I want you. It's not letting me. There we go. For some reason, it's not letting me add the chat. There you go. All right, so check out PCS like a pro. Again, this situation is just fucked up all around. The memes will continue. I mean, if you guys notice the timeline already on U.S. Army WTF moments on all the platforms with Facebook, X, Instagram, you will see that and this is the one that got everybody pissed off. Hang on. This is the one that got everybody. I mean, I don't know why people are pissed off. We got told that we're not helping.
Yeah, I saw that. How dare you?
Yeah, we don't know if you're getting paid when we don't know if you're getting paid next pay period. Because look, this is the other one too. This is the one that got people pissed off too. We were told, how dare you create this division? This is not what it's all about. The professional Army ethic, yada, yada, yada. Well, we weren't the ones that accepted $1 million to do your Army con. So
right.
Yeah, if you give me $1 million, I'll shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, but yeah. So everyone's saying, be careful, make sure you don't fall into the payday loans and stuff like that, which is true. There's old Big Sarge out there that's a retired sergeant major with adding, points on top of the principal. If you, yeah, exactly that, Keith. Please stop helping. Hey, look, we're always going to be an advocate for AER, period, no matter what. So there you go. I think that's it.
I just want to remind all the young troops out there that bankruptcy is basically God's do-over. Every 7 years, you can just start over again. Totally fine. Don't worry about the debt.
See, that's another thing, too. Is like how... I don't even know. I mean, just think about it, man. You're trying to get a clearance. You're trying to get fucking, you're working in a position where you have to get a clearance update. And then all of a sudden, the government shuts down.
Yeah.
and you got to take a loan, and it fucks your credit up and stuff like that, and it's just
Yeah.
God, man.
Yeah, it goes a lot deeper than just the money side. I mean, it can affect clearances, it can affect careers, it can affect so much shit.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, exactly. Or what individual? Yeah, or careers, because somebody might do something rash to make money. And like I said, I got links. I'm not going to share them because we don't share that stuff. We got links of individuals that are already monetizing themselves and their bodies for it, and I'm just a sad.
That's how I got the first time. I missed 2 paychecks. Next thing I know, I'm sucking dick behind the 7-Eleven. And
I thought you said it was feet. I thought it was feet. Make up your mind. Was it toes or anyways?
Whatever I could get in my mouth for money, dude. That was all I wanted.
How you don't have bubbly lip is amazing.
I have such a strong immune system.
So again, I'm just saying, you guys be careful out there. I mean, now at this time when all these NCOs and soldiers are monetizing themselves in uniform on TikTok, can you blame them? I mean, you can't really blame them if they're doing that.
No, dude. And if I could make money jerking off for strangers on the internet all day, dude, I'd be doing that shit full time. Don't even no questions asked. If I could get paid enough money to pay my bills, I would straight up jerk off for anybody at any point in time. That would be amazing. Just saying.
I've
heard of worse. I've heard of worse jobs. I've done worse jobs.
That's what immigrants are for, right? They do jobs that Americans don't want to do. Only the worst jobs out there. Yeah, exactly. Why are you throwing that shit at me? Anyways, so last but not least,
Latin XXX, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Latin triple X. Whoa. Such love, such joy, such ecstasy. Anyways, you can, though, horrible representation of the Army. Well, I look at it like this too, Holly. It's like the Army should actually come out, and we should have leadership come out. I know I got a lot of shit for posting the SMA. Where's the SMA meme? And holy crap, like, where's Carmen Sandiego? And dude, I got, man.
Yeah.
So last but not least, last portion of the show. We got fatties. Fatties deployed. They have now been sent home.
Half the Chiefs while I was in the Coast Guard. Jesus Christ.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Everyone's, and now look, we got a lot of shit because we shared ABC News video, that image that was taken by the AP. This is global. Look, I'm not saying let's go back on the chonk subject. I don't mind the chonks. I know some pretty good chonks out there that can knock out all their events on their AFT, ACFT, APFT, what do you want to call it this day? I got it. Yeah. But everyone was asking, have they gone home? Yes, it's confirmed that these individuals, those that are not meeting the standard, go home, even to include some individuals that were on the roster to go are not going to go.
That's why bases can't keep providing meals. Jesus.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. It's like it's all a circular event, just like the selling the feet and giving head behind 7-Eleven. If you put these individuals in a situation to where they can't get fit, or you don't assist them how to work out and stuff, because I think nowadays the reserve component has gotten to the point to where they do so much off their normal duty time that when finally it's time for them to come do their duty, that it's like, because I know I have a ton of several of serving reservists that are like, hey dude, I just don't have time. Sometimes it freaking, I'm like working 3-4 days prior to my drill, or I'm working a week ahead of my drill. Yeah. And sometimes I work every day to prepare for drill because of what I got, whatever the responsibilities are. Yeah. So I didn't know Andy Reid was in the Texas National Guard.
Those guys look like they ate the rest of the regiment.
I'm gonna say, man, I like Spanky said, they should have shown up at night. This right here is not a good representation of our force, period. Yeah. And everybody knew it. Everyone's like, well, if you know the guard and the reserve, then this, blah, 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 blah. This shouldn't be the standard then. This shouldn't be that, well, if you know. Yeah. So, but if they're willing to put their asses on OnlyFans, what other info were they willing to throw out there? Yeah. That's insider threat type of thing. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so I think that's it. I just wanted to cover that, give you guys an update. Guys going home. These guys going home, and their individuals will be screened, and this has caused waves within the community. Yes, it has. In the National Guard community. In the Texas National Guard, I should say. All right, let's do some real quick housekeeping. I think I have a guest coming up on Thursday. I think.
Okay.
I'm double check, make sure everything's all right there. I want to bust my freaking purse sec here, or members of the Wounded Warrior Project, or part of the Wounded Warrior Project, that are going to talk about the Major Richard Starr Act, which I'm looking forward to that, because I know there's a lot of hell. I don't even know what's going to happen with the government shutdown, but there is a lot of talk and a lot of back and forth on what's happening with the Wounded Warrior guys, Wounded Warrior Project legislative representatives, and these are some these right here are what we want. These are the kind of guests that we want. These are the types of guests that we want to have to come on, because everyone out there doing their TikToks, well, because of this, blah, blah, blah. Did you know that this is going to happen if you don't pay this or you don't do that? These guys will give us an update. And I'm excited, because that way we can understand what is going on with the exact specifics of the Major Richard Starr Act and other legislative interests. So curious to see how this goes, because I know in my political legislative mind, I'm going to this would be cool. Pop Culture Warrior. There's no Pop Culture Warrior show tomorrow.
Oh shit.
So
yeah. You slack him?
Well, he was busy. He was busy doing his
Oh, dude, he's a busy dude.
Dude, he does so much stuff. He did New York Comic Con, so there will be no Comic Con it will be no Comic Con updates until he gets back, because he's been busy. Smoked his bags. Then of course today, if you guys saw on the timeline right before we went on air, the King and me. Sometimes I get enamored watching King and his wife Michelle talking about relationship stuff and all this other shit. And so I just kind of like, man, this is some good advice, man. Sports Bar and is on at 8 Eastern Standard Time, and then the Smoke Pit on not too far out of that, and he's too busy for his fans. Thursday, Sergeant's Time with myself and Spanky. We're going to, of course, we have the guest, Wounded Warrior Legislative Affairs. FTX, I think FTX will happen because there was a bye week last week. And then, of course, always every weekend with Nemo and the crew at Weekend Co-ops. Make sure you share, like, and follow. Or as my little one says, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. We're broadcasting live on 5 different platforms. We are on 2 Facebook pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, 2 YouTube pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, and on X. Man, that's it. So
yeah,
I think that's it. So y'all have a good night. You anything to say, Mass?
Actually, yeah, if you don't mind. Sure. My uncle last week, he was a vet, decided to check out early, and yeah, it was a mess. He was a proud vet, 82nd Airborne, I think.
Sorry,
and just it's all right. I just letting people know, man. He was a stubborn motherfucker. He wouldn't get help. Nobody knew what was going on. So just it's not a bitch move to reach out and get some help if you need it, man.
And we'll make sure we'll get that information shared as well.
Yeah,
on his.
There's been a lot going on. I haven't gotten you the information.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I appreciate it.
I just want to throw it out, man, for anybody listening. If you got some shit going on, man, don't be stubborn. It's not weak to get some help. There's a lot of great vet resources there. So,
amen to that. So with that, y'all have a good night, and thanks again for listening. 2 shots.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Driving us insane. ATF 0 dark 30, no time to complain. Push ups in the mud, feel the muscle strain. Army life is a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Hilltops in the desert, sandstorms in our eyes. Memories for breakfast, no room for lies. Running marches through the night, the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Drill sergeant's fury echoing in the air. Discipline and duty we all must bear. Battle bodies by our side in the fight we share. In the face of danger we dare. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive. In the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Souls and firefights, adrenaline's rush. Silent nights, broken by the enemy's hush. Medics on the move in the heat of the crush. In the heart of battle we trust. It's WTF moments in the army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find out our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive. In the ranks we thrive. Homecoming's bittersweet, memories in our mind. Brothers lost but never left behind. Army WTF moments in the stories we find. In the army's embrace, we're forever entwined. It's WTF moments in the army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Through the smoke and the flames we rise again. In the heart of the storm we find our sin. Battle buddies by our side, our men. In the army's legacy we transcend.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
There are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different. Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel. But there is also a different shovel. We use it when we come to the position. In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets. If a tank will pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier. We dig in the ground, deeper, and then connect the trenches with our friends to the left. In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread. A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire. If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again, and then we'll move on. And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us possess an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the army of Ukraine.